Well, she's one of the more exciting fighters in this or any division and really came into the UFC with some legitimate striking credentials, and she's put those to good use in the Big Show.
And that's why everybody was so excited about her UFC debut. They understood that they were about to witness something truly special. A striker, a fighter with an ability to finish fights with her legs, with her hands, with her elbows, with her knees. There was nothing, no tool at her disposal that she would not use. She was going to use everything gifted to her, and she has done that, and that's why her performances have been so great in the UFC.
Yeah, she does not discriminate. She is a true, tried and tested 8-point striker. She'll try to put on a striking clinic here tonight. Well, drillers make killers, and nobody works her takedowns harder than this young woman. She has become a force in this division, and even though the opposition oftentimes knows what's coming, no one's able to stop that shot.
Nobody's able to stop that takedown attempt. No one's able to stop that single leg. She said in the fighter meetings, I have drilled that takedown 5,000 times.
Amazing.
Over and over, I hit a single leg. Every day of the week, I hit at least 30 single legs. I'm like, well, is wrestling practice every day? She goes, no. I just want to make sure that I have a skill that is so dominant that no matter how much you practice it, you are not practicing it enough to stop me from taking you down with it. It is truly crazy to watch her approach to getting that single leg off.
And her ability to get her opponents off balance in a mixed martial arts setting, as special as anybody in the sport right now. We'll see how it goes for her here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC strawweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This woman is a kickboxer holding a professional record of 13 wins, 6 losses. She stands 5 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 115 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, USA, Tecia the Tiny Tornado Torres. And now introducing her opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This woman is a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 18 wins, 10 losses. She stands 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 115 pounds. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, USA, the Karachi Hottie, Michelle Waterside. And when the action begins, a referee in charge, Yves Lavigne.
The veteran Yves Lavigne draws the assignment here.
You ready?
Fight clock is moving. We are now underway. Going to be interesting to see how this fight stylistically plays out between a true striker against a well-rounded fighter.
This is a big-time fight field. People have been pining for this matchup for a really long time. They wanted to see how the striker would handle someone that would try to force them into uncomfortable situations. Let's see how this thing plays out.
Just unable to quite find that range.
Big leg kick lands.
Nice punch by Waterson. Spinning back fist. Didn't see that one coming. Well, you asked her on Thursday, how soon are you going to shoot? Very early. Nice job getting the fight to the ground here in the early go.
Sometimes taking that shot too early you can find yourself like Ben Askren, but she knew that she held a huge advantage. She implemented exactly what she wanted to do, and now she finds herself in a dominant top control position.
Ben Askren not going to be too happy if he plays EA Sports UFC 4.
He won't be happy with his boy.
Trying to go for the single leg takedown, doesn't get it.
Nice head kick.
All right, so again, we find ourselves here in the clinch where there are obviously no shortage of subtleties and nuances. A lot of motions in here that maybe are lost.
Oh, nice takedown by Waterson.
Torres gets back up again.
Look at the turtles in that kick.
Nice counter right hook there. Just over 3 minutes to go. Back in the clinch now. Nice punch by Waterson. So just over 20 total strikes that have now landed for the Tiny Tornado, Tecia Torres.
real quick leg kick.
All right, so she goes to the kick and promptly lands. Nicely done there.
She has done that over and over, and every time she throws it, the record is on repeat. Wash.
Getting tighter.
Oh!
Keep it busy here off of her back. Nice offense from the bottom. 2 minutes now to go in the opening round. All right, so her ground control is outstanding. Half guard is when she's at her most dangerous.
Yeah, she's at her most dangerous when she has a half guard because she's so brutal with the ground and pound. She likes to go after fighters and really wear on them, force them to make decisions to get their backs so that she can chase her submission, or they're gonna lay on their back and just get beaten up from the top from that beautiful half guard position.
Wow, there is just a viciousness with which she operates here on the ground as she continues to get the ground and pound game going. She might get a finish here.
She's looking for a finish. She's so good at dictating these ground exchanges, and she's doing a fantastic job of building posture to try to land that kill shot from the top.
Job by her there to execute the submission. Clearly she had an opening and she closed the show pretty effectively there. That is one of the bigger wins of her UFC career. So that win by submission figures to silence any remaining doubters, and that certainly puts the rest of the division on notice. Huge result for her here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Yves Lavigne has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 52 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by tap out, Tecia the Tiny Tornado Torres.
Well, it'll be standing room only at her after party tonight as she gets it done by way of submission. Thankfully, Daniel Cormier is on the list. I'll be on the outside looking.
I mean, John, I got you. We're going in together. I'm not going in without my partner. But, man, she's a great grappler. She understands positioning so well. And she knows the moment her opponent got out of position, she was able to attack her finish. Great job, great performance. I don't have enough words to say congratulations to this young lady.
Well, pretty much every time out in the UFC, DC, this man has put on a striking clinic, and that is his methodology coming in here tonight. He'll try to keep the fight on the feet.
And that's why we tune in, right? That's why we tune in. We tune in to see guys that are dynamic. We tune in for the speed. We tune in for the knowledge of the striking game, the ability to set traps, the ability to find the jab, the ability to find the right hand, the right kick, the left kick, the knees, the elbows. He truly uses every weapon that he has in his arsenal to try and finish his opponents. You make one mistake, night's over. You cannot make mistakes against a guy that has the striking acumen of this guy right here.
And the jab is not as underutilized a weapon as it was in MMA, say 5 or 7 years ago, but he's got as good a jab as anyone in the business, and that is where all of his striking flows off of. We'll see how it goes for him in this matchup tonight. All right, so here he is, one of the more prolific takedown artists in the UFC at present, and when you get some praise from Daniel Cormier when it comes to your offensive takedown game, you know you're doing something right.
And we talk about wrestlers and judo players and grapplers, but this guy just combines all of that. He is able to use foot sweeps from the grappling game. He is able to use throws from judo, and he's able to use wrestling from the wrestling game to take people down. He He has an array of takedowns at his disposal, and he uses every single one of them. From the speed of the level change to the timing to the knowledge of where to go next when the guy starts to defend, he's truly, truly something special.
I don't think he could take you down, but tonight he doesn't have to. So
He does not
in
have
this
to.
matchup, prevailing wisdom is he'll be able to get this fight to the canvas. Our tail of the tape for this highly anticipated welterweight fight. So these fighters relatively close in age, just a year apart, with similar height and some differences in reach. And now for the particulars, we go inside
Ladies
the
and
octagon
gentlemen, this
where we
fight is
find
3
Bruce
rounds
Buffer.
in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a boxer holding a professional record of 19 wins, 8 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Beijing, China, Li the Leech Jingliang! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a jiu-jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 18 wins, 6 losses. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Spokane Valley, Washington, presenting an Ultimate Fighter season winner, Michael Maverick Chiesa! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Dan Murgliata.
Dan Murgliata.
Ready? Are you ready?
All right, so here we are back at the pool here in the tri-state area, Newark, New Jersey. Big UFC live event coming up here tonight. And this venue doesn't get as many shows as it used to because of the New York legislation, but certainly they come out when the UFC's in town.
Before the UFC was able to go to Madison Square Garden, we went to the Prudential Center. It was as close as we could get, and the fans always showed up. It is a great arena and a place for great fights.
I mean, can you imagine having a reach advantage like this? What a luxury!
It's a luxury. I've never had one over the course of my entire career. But fighting guys that are taller, you struggle whenever they are very aware of such a massive advantage. This guy is going to try and use this tonight. Ooh, what a punch.
Landed with the elbow there. And there's another takedown attempt. A little single collar tie there.
Look at the angle of that nice body kick.
Well, perhaps a sign of things to come as he lands a kick there.
Nice kick landed by the gentleman.
Chiesa goes for the takedown, unable to land. One of the better takedown artists out there. Nothing doing on that attack.
That's a big strike right there. What a tricky head kick.
All right, so a good job defensively by him here as he raises the guard and prevents any dancing.
Shades of James Toney. Always seeing things coming at him. He's such a great defensive fighter.
Big shots being landed on both sides here. Oh, collar tie.
Right hand punch from the clinch. Good punch lands.
Stuffs the takedown, no problem.
Look at him drive his shin into the opponent's body with that body kick.
He blocks the punch.
Powerful leg kick lands.
Chiesa, all right, so a near perfect entry there, and finally he gets his first takedown of the fight, and they say if at first you don't succeed, try again, was able to get him down.
Persistence pays, and that's what we saw. He's gonna try to attack Kimura here. Turn on the elbow, and he's gonna chase the submission finish.
Shortly thereafter.
He got the arm straight, right? The moment he was able to break the lock, John, his opponent was in trouble. Hip pressure up, opponent had to tap.
And he tapped, and he lives to fight another day, but a huge win for his opponent by submission tonight. All right, let's take a look back at the replay as he gets it done by submission tonight, champ.
I mean, you know, this guy has such a great submission game that you cannot lay in his guard. He's so skilled. He's so tricky and he's so good at weaving a web that gets you lost in it that he made him pay for it tonight and got the submission victory.
So a seminal moment for this fighter here tonight as he gets the win by submission. Huge victory in his career, and it'll be very interesting to see how they matchmake him moving forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Mergliata has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 43 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by tap out due to an armbar, Michael Maverick Chiesa! Well, the celebration is on in his corner, and hard to blame these guys, sort of waiting to exhale, get a huge win tonight, and not just the win, but they get it by submission.
They knew what they had in front of them. They knew how tough a competitor his opponent was, but they also knew that if they could get this fight to the ground, they could find a submission. They found a submission. He got his hand raised in the way that he loves the most.
All right, so here he is, one of the better offensive takedown guys we have in the UFC, DC. And if anyone is well-equipped to speak to this, it is you. The opponent knows what's coming. At least to this point in the UFC, no one's been able to stop him.
He just has to keep him away, because the moment this guy gets close enough to either grab a leg or make body contact, now you're in trouble. He has a knowledge and an understanding of position from a lifetime of just all grappling, judo, wrestling, sambo. He does it all, and he has just so many ways to get you to the floor. This guy once told me that if you can get your leg, he's going to finish. Because he's going to give you so many things to think about, you will not be able to process and keep up with him, and eventually you're on the mat. It's unbelievable to watch him apply that knowledge to the mixed martial arts fight. And
as the wrestlers say, this is not a guy you want anywhere near your bracket.
No, you don't want him in the bracket.
Well, for my money, he's on the short list of UFC fighters, some of the best fighters to have never realized a UFC championship. Here is Kelvin Gastelum trying to continue his run here at 185 pounds.
Yes, since Kelvin Gastelum has gone up to 185 and stopped depleting himself in those massive weight cuts down to 170, he's only gotten better. And that showed in the fight with Israel Adesanya, when he had a chance to become UFC interim champion. He went 5 rounds. He went 5 rounds hard. He tried to accomplish the goal, fell a little bit short, but that gave you confidence in knowing that with the heart and the spirit of Kelvin Gastelum and the skill, that if he's that close, with a few adjustments, he can find himself right back in that same spot.
Our tale of the tape for this middleweight fight. 4 years apart, some differences in height and reach. Now for the official introductions, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 23 wins, 8 losses. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Oslo, Norway, Jack the Joker Hermansson. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a wrestler, holding a professional record of 17 wins, 8 losses, and 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Yuma, Arizona, USA, Kelvin Gastelum. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon, Dan Mergliata.
Dan Mergliata.
Are you ready?
All right, so the fight is now underway. On one side, you have a fighter who does everything well, taking on a true grappler on the other side. It's going to be interesting to see how long he can keep it up.
I mean, Demian Maia may be the most specialist type of grappler in the UFC. This guy resembles him in a number of ways. Let's see how he manages this fight against a guy that can do just about everything inside the octagon. When you're in a clinch, you can pull down on the head and land these beautiful punches to the head.
Well, we talked about his reach advantage off the top. Made good use of it there with that punch, DC. Oh, and he connects there. Pretty nice punch there.
Great job finding the range to land those punches.
Nice 1-2 there. Oh, collar tie. Man, he's timing his shots nicely. It's like Tom Brady out there. He hasn't missed the target.
I mean, you insist on bringing in Tom Brady.
Oh,
Stop.
nice job to knock
Down.
that takedown and scramble to his feet. Well, perhaps a sign of things to come as he lands a kick there.
Nice kick landed by this gentleman.
Strong defense here as the hook to the head is blocked. Nice punch there by Gastelum. Stuffs the takedown there. How good is his takedown defense?
Look at the whip action that comes from him throwing that kick.
Almost in range with the straight left, but that's a miss.
Look at the force behind that leg kick.
Oh, and there's a takedown attempt. Not a great entry there, DC.
Not a great entry. He showed everything he was going to do. He didn't hide his takedown. You knew from the moment this fight started he was going to go get a shot off. The opponent was ready, and he defended it perfectly. He lands a big knee to the body.
Stuffs the takedown, no problem.
Big, powerful punch lands. Now he gets back in range.
Oh, and he finally gets the takedown now. So what do they say? Try again.
If at
Now trying to hip escape.
he's just trying to move out of this position off the bottom. The Kimura is not the arm. It's the shoulder pressure that usually makes you tap.
But now DC trying to isolate an arm.
Yep, he's using the Kimura.
Oh!
Get the turn on the elbow, and he's going to chase the submission finish. He got it, John.
How about it? Gets the win by submission. Beautifully executed there on the ground. All right, let's take a look back at the replay as he gets it done by submission tonight, champ.
He does a great job of staying patient. He doesn't rush or panic. You are never safe when you're fighting this guy. You're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble the entire time when you're this good in the submissions.
So there he is, your winner by submission, and that's exactly how you put the rest of this division on notice. Looks like this guy could be a factor moving forward in this division.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Miragliotta's called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 45 seconds of the very first round. For the winner by submission, Jack the Joker Hermansson.
All right, so there he is, all smiles and rightfully so after he gets the job done by submission tonight. You told me off the air before the fight that he was going to submit him, and that's exactly what happened, man.
I mean, you know, this guy has such a great submission game that you cannot lay in his guard. And his opponent is known to lay in the guard. He made him pay for it tonight and got the submission victory.
Well, this guy has truly made the takedown a thing of beauty in mixed martial arts with respect to yourself and George St. Pierre and the truly great takedown artists. This guy's closing the gap and entering that company in the eyes of many.
Oh, absolutely, because he's done such a great job of timing takedowns. I haven't seen anyone so good at slipping a jab into a takedown since George St. Pierre.
Right.
He does a phenomenal job of getting from step one to step two before his opponent even realizes, now he's in on my leg. And if they do get their hips back, immediately he's up into a foot sweep or a headlock or an inside trick. It's just so many different ways for him to get you to the floor that he will throw every single one at you every single time.
And a lot of fighters talk about that wrestling maintenance and how hard it is, right, over the course of a career to continue to drill those things. He talks a lot about that, and that's why he's continued to realize success here in the UFC. All right, here he is. For my money, might be the most well-rounded fighter in this division, a true mixed martial artist at his core, and he believes he'll have a lot of advantages in this matchup tonight.
Everyone talked about him being well-rounded. It's unbelievable to watch a guy that can do everything across the board at such a high level.
Yeah, he's comfortable wherever the fight goes. Maybe he'll grapple tonight, maybe he'll strike. Makes him a hard guy to prepare for. All right, now our tale of the tape for this bantamweight scrap. Well, how about the age discrepancy here? More than 15 years apart. Some differences in height and reach as well. All right, we send it back inside the octagon. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 19 wins, 7 losses, and 2 no contests. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, Pedro, the Young Punisher Munoz! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 7 wins, no losses. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 136 pounds. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, Raul El Nino Problema Rosa Jr. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Dan Miragliotta.
Dan Miragliotta.
Are you ready?
All right, so the fight is underway. We will see how it plays out. It's a pick'em fight according to Las Vegas, and really hard to think of a weakness that we have seen on film from either guys in their UFC careers thus far.
I feel like both of these guys are the top of the food chain. They're the best of the best that we can put inside the octagon. They are so well-rounded. They have every skill, and that is going to be on display tonight in this key matchup.
Just misses with a left hook there.
Look at how he turns his hip into that leg kick.
Well, perhaps a sign of things to come as he lands a kick there.
Nice kick landed by this gentleman.
All right, single collar tie now.
Nice body kick. Nice punch land.
Ooh-wee!
Ooh-wee, what a right hand by this young man.
Lands a big right hand early. Whiffs on that offering. Tries to mix in a takedown here.
Slicing the elbow coming around the corner. That only happens if you can gain posture control.
Man, he's just got a great feel for the striking realm early in this one.
The timing is on point. He's doing a great job of mixing everything up.
Well, straight right hand has been a good weapon for him. He misses with it there. And he lands a punch there. Pretty good connection by him.
Great connection. He's in a great flow right now.
Oh, and he gets tagged. Beautiful combination there. And I'm not sure how many more of those power shots he can take, honestly.
The night is almost over. If you keep getting hit with punches like this, you are going to sleep.
And once again, looking for that highlight reel KO with that front kick.
He loaded up there on that high kick.
Oh! Trying to establish that jab.
Yeah, he's mixing it all up. Good punch.
All right, he engages in the single collar tie. Elbow. Ooh, now he's got the tie plum, Daniel. If you're on the other side, what are you trying to do to get out of this potentially dangerous position?
You got to start digging your shoulder to a side and then trying to shove an underhook. You cannot bend down to try to get out a Muay Thai clinch. big head kick lands. Over and over, he's landing these big body kicks. Oh,
and potentially a critical takedown here. All right, so inside the open guard of his opponent. You gotta be careful playing around for too long here on the ground with this guy. Strong bottom work here, staying busy. Closed guard. Oh, really nice work to keep busy off of his back as he lands some more offense here from bottom. All right, great position for him here. He's got the full mount. See if he can get that ground and pound going.
Oh, he's got to get it going, but he can't rush. A lot of times, guys get in the full mount and they rush, they get nervous. They're like, oh my goodness, I'm winning. Reality is, you're winning, but it can change in a matter of seconds because then they can be gone. He's got to drop his hips, be really heavy at the opponent's base, and then just start to work. Make the opponent give his back so that he can try to get his chokes off or find great ground and pound, but very patient ground and pound from such a dominant position.
.45 seconds to go here in round one. Man, how fun is this to watch as he continues to dole out damage with the ground and pound.
Take it back to the days of guys like Mark Coleman, just beating people up in the ground and pound. This guy is a throwback fighter, and he's very fun to watch.
Yeah, the Godfather would be proud. .20 seconds to go. Well, you gotta be working off of your back. He's certainly doing so here. Nice punch. All right, side control now. 10 seconds now to go in the round. Five minutes in the books.
Chega aí, isso, agora sim. Olha, os socos estão saindo muito bem, entendeu? Você está dominando bem com a sua envergadura e está acertando o queixo dele com força, é isso aí. Ele está baixando a guarda e você não está deixando barato.
All right, now we take a look back at some of the action in that previous round, DC. A lot to like on both sides, really.
I mean, both were intent on going forward. And what happens when nobody wants to take a step back? They meet in the middle. That's exactly what they did, and they both found success over the course of that round.
All right, next round is underway, and somewhat surprisingly, he got out of that previous round without absorbing anything in terms of significant damage, despite the fact that his opponent was pretty offensive.
His opponent was very active, but it seems as though he can see almost everything coming in his direction. He's so well-versed, he's so skilled in his defensive fighting that nothing is breaking his defenses. Oh, that's a nice strike.
Right there, his opponent's wobble check.
He's hurt bad. This dude needs to grab. He needs to wrestle. He has to do something. He cannot take another shot like that.
Man, it's almost like he's got a rangefinder out there, just too easy as he connects with another good series of punches there.
If you're boxing this guy and only boxing him, you will be in trouble.
Blocks the shot. All right, so he's landed some good shots. You hate to be overly critical, but nothing really in terms of combinations tonight.
Well, the jab has been looking great. How about jab, jab, right hand?
Right.
Because eventually you're going to have to put something on your opponent that's going to really make him pause. I believe the jab has been working so well, if he drops a big right hand after it, he may be able to finish his fight. Look at the turnover in that kick.
Punch to the body is blocked. Nicely done as he gets the double leg takedown. All right, so you got to be careful playing on the ground with this guy. You don't want to mess around for too long.
He's going to start trying to move to a submission here. It looks like he's trying to attack from arm triangle. Watch triangle, watch triangle. Needs to push the arm to the side. Get his head against the mat. Now watch as he goes to the finish. Watch his chest go to the mat. He goes flat, all weight.
And this might just be a matter of time. Not tapping out tonight. All right, right into side control here, DC. Biggest difference between half guard and side control?
Well, side control to me feels like a little bit less control because now my legs aren't really doing anything anymore. Now I'm controlling you with my upper body. So I've got to be very, very aware. It's still advantageous, but it just seems a little more free-flowing than having something like a half guard.
All right, closed guard now. You got to be careful, though. He's got a lot of submissions off his back. All right, well, both fighters pretty comfortable on the ground, DC, but you got to be very careful hanging out here for too long if you're his opponent. Well, he has really picked up the pace here in round 2. Much more aggressive than we saw in round 1, and now starting to find himself in the pocket. There as he lands, and maybe time to get the bonus checks ready.
I mean, this fight is about done. He's got him hurt very bad with his head kick. Now he has to find one more strike to end the night.
Now goes in and secures the takedown. Oh, nice job by him there to move into half guard. Not much resistance from the bottom fighter.
He's just too good in this position. Look for ground and pound immediately. And now he has a headlock trying to pin his opponent's back down flat onto the mat. Look for him to transition to an arm triangle to try to chase the finish. Watch triangle, watch triangle. There he is, he's moving to the finishing position. Now watch, he goes parallel right next to his opponent. When it's in there deep, there you go.
Wow. Ooh, right into side control, DC.
This is where you want to be now because you get to make your opponent decide. They try to turn back into you can attack guillotine. If they turn away to try to get to your knees, you throw your hooks in and you got all your rear choke submission.
All right, so pretty good damage here with the ground and pound. Nothing superficial about these strikes. They are intending to harm.
Oh yeah, he's landing very accurately and he's landing to get damage off.
45 seconds remain in the round. All right, working out of side control here. His opponent trying to control posture, but you got to be careful here. Well, not good body language from his opponent here, DC. He's curled up.
No, he's exhausted. He's been beaten.
Well, anytime you are in a ground fighting situation with this fighter, you're potentially playing with fire. 20 seconds left to go in round 2. Oh, his opponent squirming like a fish out of water now. The ground and pound is on point. This could very well be the beginning of the end.
This could be the beginning of the end. We've seen some really good ground and pound fighters. This young man is as good as any you've ever seen.
Single collar tie now. 10 minutes in the books. All right, so that's the end of the round. Pretty significant damage done in that round. Cut on the cheek, sustained there from that strike. Now the cut man's got to get in there and close that thing up. Better to be below the eye than above it, sure, but nonetheless, this could be a factor now moving forward. All right, so let us now check out some of the action in that round, DC. There was a whole lot of it, including a stunner upstairs that nearly closed the show.
It was a lot of action. It was back and forth action, but the big moment was that big strike to the head that landed, that put him on wobbly legs and in survival mode. Luckily, he made it to the end of that round. Look at him whip his hip into that kick.
Oh, lands another beautiful strike to the body, really starting to connect at will when it comes to working the body, and especially effective doing it later in this fight. Didn't see a lot of that from him in the earlier rounds. Man, striking class is in session. Beautiful punch there.
Great job landing. What a damaging punch. I mean, he's cutting down the size with these beautiful leg kicks.
Ooh, blocks the shot.
Look at him chopping the wood. Chop the wood with those leg kicks.
Tries the flying nade to no avail. So he's really starting to change his levels now, DC.
Oh, man, he was in a single, got to a high crotch. Oh, takes it from the high. What a fantastic takedown.
All right, he's sort of hanging out here unguarded, DC. Not sure if he's trying to bait him in or what, but not great body language here. Well, he continues to manhandle him here on the ground. All right, looks like he's got a couple hooks in here, DC, and defensively, you better be careful. Close guard. Oh, that is a high-level transition to half guard, and now in a position to do a lot of damage.
Watch it.
Working on a guillotine.
Watch guillotine.
Oh, we're getting a finish here. Oh, look at this. Jumps over in the side mount to try to counter the guillotine. Maybe going with that Von Flue choker. I guess we should probably call it the OSP at this point. All right, so he postures up, somehow stays in the fight. All right, full guard here, DC. What does he need to do to improve position?
Well, he's got to start to build his posture, get some damage off, move to half guard, which in turn leads to more opportunities for advancement. But if you're on the bottom, you got to anticipate those movements the moment he tries to move to the next position. You build a shield, get back to your feet, or dig an underhook to try to get a reversal or a sweep.
Fighter trying to pass here, ooh, but gets denied.
Gets denied. Great job, great recognition of seeing what your opponent was trying to do.
Lands the right hand. Just over 2 minutes to go in our third and final round. Man, this is some serious ground and pound here, DC. He's not just staying busy for the sake of staying busy. These strikes are doing damage.
Oh, yeah, no pity pat to this guy. This guy's trying to land, and he's trying to land effective strikes.
All right, side control now, DC. You know he's in his element on the ground. A lot of tricks up his sleeve.
A lot of tricks.
Good movement by him here, transitioning very well on the ground tonight.
Step for step, he's staying with his opponent in every transition.
Ground and pound strike there now.
He's putting him in exactly the positions he needs to be in right now. He's able to relax here. And he understands, being a veteran of so many fights, that as long as he's on top, he's winning. He feels like he's winning here.
Keep it busy here off of his back. Nice offense from the bottom. All right, north-south position now. We'll see how he chooses to proceed. A lot of top pressure being applied here as he works out of side control. Looks like he's trying to isolate an arm here, DC.
Yeah, he's isolating it to try to get a Kimura here.
And this might just be a matter of time. Take a look back at the replay as he gets it done by submission tonight, champ.
Just watch how slowly he approaches the submission, though. He never rushes. He takes his time, but it's his trickiness. It's his ability to trick people into going to the floor with him that puts them in danger and finishing fights.
So there he is, your winner by submission, and that's exactly how you put the rest of this division on notice. Looks like this guy could be a factor moving forward in this division.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Miragliotta's calling stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 15 seconds of the third round. For the winner by submission, Raul El Niño Conrado Rosas Jr.
All right, so there he is, all smiles, and rightfully so after he gets the job done by submission tonight. You told me off the air before the fight that he was going to submit him, and that's exactly what happened, man.
I mean, you know, this guy has such a great submission game that you cannot lay in his guard. And his opponent is known to lay in the guard. He made him pay for it tonight and got the submission victory.
All right, so here he is, one of the more prolific takedown artists in the UFC at present. And when you get some praise from Daniel Cormier, when it comes to your offensive takedown game, you know you're doing something right.
And we talk about wrestlers and judo players and grapplers, but this guy just combines all of that. He is able to use foot sweeps from the grappling game. He is able to use throws from judo, and he's able to use wrestling from the wrestling game to take people down. He has an array of takedowns at his disposal, and he uses every single one of them. From the speed of the level change to the timing to the knowledge of where to go next when the guy starts to defend, he's truly, truly something special.
I don't think he could take you down, but tonight he doesn't have to. So
he does not
in this matchup, prevailing wisdom is he'll be able to get this fight to the canvas. All right, here he is, the decorated kickboxer, back for more here tonight, and he's so comfortable in the striking realm. It's almost like he started kickboxing before he ever was reading or writing.
Oh, it's unbelievable to see someone that's so comfortable under so much duress.
I know.
When you're in kickboxing range, you are in the fire. There is no safety. You're right in range to be getting knocked out, but he does not fear that. He loves it. He loves the combat. He loves the engagements. But what you have to understand is he's not engaging his opponents on their terms. He's doing it on his terms. Whether or not he wants to be in close with the big punches or he wants to be at range landing kicks, he's just constantly putting damage on you. Top, bottom, up, low, it does not matter. This guy is a dominant striker, one of the best kickboxers the UFC has ever seen.
And in terms of the punching technique and the jab, as good as anyone in this division. Our tail of the tape for this highly anticipated welterweight fight. More than 5 years apart, with some differences in height, but big differences in reach. How about some Bruce Buffer?
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 30 wins, 6 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Santiago Chichiboa Ponzinibbio. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. A kickboxer, holding a professional record of 23 wins, 9 losses, and 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Fort Worth, Texas, Kevin the Trailblazer Holland. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Yves Lavigne.
The veteran Yves Lavigne draws the assignment here.
You ready?
All right, crowd getting excited as this fight gets underway, and you hate to call any fighter on this UFC roster a specialist, but on one side, you have a definite striker taking on a true 5-tool player.
And you see a guy in the striker who knows exactly who he is. He knows where the fight needs to be. He knows what he has to do in order to be successful. Let's see if he can keep his opponent off of him.
Oh, nice land there with the punch. You see, he's taking advantage of what is an obvious edge and reach.
Nice punch lands over the top.
Throwing that jab now again, the fighter evades.
I need you to go forward.
Punches blocked.
Put your hands up higher. Come on.
Oh, big knee. Oh, straight right. Ponzinibbio gets caught with that punch. Not the easiest guy in the world to hit, but he got caught there. Oh, spinning back fist. He didn't telegraph that one at all.
There it is. Take the shot now. Take the shot. There it is.
Lands with the right hand. Now Now connects with a right. Oh, collar tie. Under 3 minutes now to go in the round.
Look at the whip action that comes from him throwing that kick.
Oh, massive head kick there. We'll see if he can finish. So just over 20 total strikes have now landed for the forever busy Santiago Ponzinibbio. Oh, that's a good right hand. Oh, and he lands another leg kick there. He's already landed several in this round, and the damage is really starting to take its toll.
Yeah, it's really starting to take its toll. And you watch the opponent walking gingerly on his leg, and one big tell that
Whoa!
he's in trouble. He's hurt bad.
2 minutes to go in round one.
Nice kick.
Nice straight right lands. And they separate. Tried to land the punch, but a swing and a miss by Ponzinibbio. All right, he'll engage in a single collar tie.
Look at him chopping the wood. Chop the wood with those leg kicks.
Continues to mix it up, going to the head, mixing in some body shots. Well, he's got the reach advantage. You might as well use it. Nice job there to find a home for that jab. Oh, nice punch there by Ponzinibbio. Final minute.
Big kick.
All right, 45 seconds now to go in the round. Connects with a right. Seconds to go now.
Oh. Big punch lands over the top. How's he gonna follow this one up?
Got the single collar tie.
Look at how he turns his hip into that leg kick.
Ponzinibbio's lower jaw does not look good. I don't think it's broken, but starting to show some obvious signs of swelling. All right, so there's the end of the round. Few things in MMA more devastating than a head kick, and nearly produced a knockout for him there.
We talked to him earlier in the week, and he talked about chances to take the kicks high. He got a chance, he took it, he landed that kick, and almost got the fight finished. Let's see if he can go and do that again.
Round two is underway.
Big, powerful punch lands. Now he gets back to range. I mean, he's cutting them down to size with these beautiful leg kicks.
Looked like a good knee to the body, but it's blocked.
I mean, look at the commitment to kicking in this fight.
Single collar tie now. Oh, massive kick. Didn't see that one coming. All right, he closes the distance, gets the single collar tie.
Straight punch lands.
Just out of range with that left hook.
Beautiful kick.
Oh, just misses with the kick.
Do not back up. Let's go forward.
He's
now.
throwing every part of himself into these big leg kicks.
Keep your hands up for me. Come on now. Let's
All right, well, he's landed some good shots tonight, but there's no three-piece, there's no soda. More often than not, it's one and done.
He's not even getting a combination. I mean, if you're gonna sit there at the drive-thru, order a combination, take the soda with your food, give him the right hand behind the jab, give him the hook behind the right hand. Jab, right hand, hook. That's 2 pieces of chicken and a biscuit. Finish him off with the uppercut. That is your soda. Oh, he's hurt bad. He's hurt bad, John. He's got to press him. He's got to go chase that finish down now.
I need you to pay attention. Protect yourself. Look for your shots.
Oh, nice job to land the straight punch there. Must be nice to have that kind of reach advantage, DC. I know you can't necessarily relate. And they separate. Looking for the counter right now, no good.
Set the pace.
Well, he was a little bit lackluster in round one. You can't say the same here in this second round. He has really picked up the pace, an uptick in the aggression and the output, and starting to find his range here in the pocket.
Oh, nice right hand.
All right, single collar tie now. Oh, and he lands a punch there. Good connection by him on that.
Great connect, so fast, so accurate. And watch the ability to land from anywhere.
Stuffs the takedown there. How good is his takedown defense? Oh, a little single collar tie there. This fight's gonna be over, DC.
What a great way of mixing up his attack. He didn't stay the course. He mixed it up. He went high with his corner guard, going low, and now he's got him hurt very badly. Look at him drive his shin into his opponent's body with that body kick.
Slips the left hand. All right, he engages inside. Oh, and he... Whoa! Well, these are some excellent ground and pound strikes here, DC. There's an efficiency with which he operates in these situations.
He knows exactly when to throw, exactly when to hold. It's allowing him to really control the grappling aspect of the fight.
There's a song there, right? Know when to hold him.
Know when to fold him, yep, absolutely.
Come on, man. Let's get that takedown.
30 seconds to go in round two. $20 seconds left.
Come on, buddy. Keep your hands up. Let's go.
Oh, that's a nice strike.
Oh, a huge strike lands there, DC.
He landed that massive shot. Now he needs to try to find the next shot, the follow-up shot that will finish the fight.
Unbelievable.
Serve him up. Go get him.
How about those 5 minutes? All right, so there's the end of the round. The cut on his lip is only getting worse. We've kept an eye on it tonight. The cut man is going to have to do some work here to try to prevent that from becoming more of a factor here in this next round. All right, so a huge round for him there. Nearly had him out of there with the head kick. Did get the knockdown. Talk us through the replay.
He got the knockdown. He won the round. He did everything correct. The only thing he didn't do is finish the fight. But if he continues down the path, if he continues to do the exact same thing as he did before, he will get that finish.
Third round underway. Well, he hasn't really showed any signs of slowing down tonight. He continues to connect on a high volume of strikes here.
Dig and kick.
Pretty good job staying patient as he lands the counter strike there. Strong work by Santiago Ponzinibbio.
There's no tell on that leg kick.
Slips the punch. Ponzinibbio's kick to the body is blocked.
what a punch. Big leg kick lands.
Oh, shot to the body connects there. He hasn't really thrown too many body strikes in this fight, but now, as this fight goes on, he is not discriminating, working the body, and those shots are gonna count.
Big kick land.
Whoa!
What a fantastic strike to throw at the exact right moment. He deserves this moment. Go finish this fight.
Knee to the body. Oh, straight right.
Oh, he needs to start looking to finish now because he's got his opponent look very bad.
Close guard. Working off of his back here. Looks like he may try to hip escape. Working out of side control here. His opponent trying to control posture, but you got to be careful here. Ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee, what a right hand by this young man.
Well, there are few things more fun to watch in mixed martial arts than these type of transitions and scrambles on the ground.
High-level grappling can really be entertaining.
Back to the feet now. Blocks the shot. Nice job defensively there as he keeps his hands up, not just protecting his face, but also what is a pretty significant cut.
You cannot allow that to get hit anymore. He's hurt.
Back to his feet. Oh, he's landed a high number of total strikes here in the latter stages of this fight. He's really picked up the pace and landing far more strikes than he did in previous rounds. Nice punch by Ponzinibbio. Throwing that jab, no good. Ponzinibbio's hook shot is blocked. Saw that coming from a mile away.
Good stick.
Oh, single collar tie here. All right, so he's landed some good shots. You hate to be overly critical, but nothing really in terms of combinations tonight.
Well, the jab has been looking great. How about jab, jab, right hand?
Right.
Because eventually you're going to have to put something on your opponent that's going to really make him pause. He's hurt. He's hurt bad. Now he's on top of him looking for a finish.
All right, well, he's got him softened up here.
Oh, he got him hurt bad.
And back to his feet. Ponzinibbio gets hit by that leg kick. You may want to start checking some of these. All right, he engages in a single collar tie here. He's looking for that left hand. Not there. "20 seconds to go in the fight." Pretty nice knee there, DC.
Great job finding the opportunity to land the strike.
Do you believe it?
He's done. He's done. What a performance.
Again, the winner here was so aggressive with his onslaught. He wanted to make sure he kept the judges out of the equation. Mission accomplished on that front as he gets the TKO victory here tonight. So a huge win by TKO for him here tonight, a seminal moment in his UFC career, and that could hold up as one of the better TKOs of the year.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Yves Lavigne was called to stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 47 seconds of the third round. Declaring the winner by TKO, Santiago Chichibora Ponzinibbio.
Well, there he is, the man of the hour. And you got to think this dude's going to get a serious Instagram push tonight after the win by TKO.
Oh, he's going to get a massive push because he hurt his opponent and he pressed his foot down on the gas until he got that finish. That was amazing.
Well, this guy has truly made the takedown a thing of beauty in mixed martial arts with respect to yourself and George St. Pierre and the truly great takedown artists. This guy's closing the gap and entering that company in the eyes of many.
Oh, absolutely, because he's done such a great job of timing takedowns. I haven't seen anyone so good at slipping a jab into a takedown since George St. Pierre.
Right.
He does a phenomenal job of getting from step one to step two before his opponent even realizes, now he's in on my leg. And if they do get their hips back, immediately he's up into a foot sweep or a headlock or an inside trick. It's just so many different ways for him to get you to the floor that he will throw every single one at you every single time.
And a lot of fighters talk about that wrestling maintenance and how hard it is, right, over the course of a career to continue to drill those things. He talks a lot about that, and that's why he's continued to realize success here in the UFC. Well, there is no denying this man's striking credentials. Prevailing wisdom is he's going to try to keep this fight standing tonight.
He has to. You know, this is what got him to the show. It was being able to use the hands to set up the kicks. We all talk about the high-level boxing background of this young man. But as he's developed great knees.
Yeah.
He's developed great timing, great counter skills, and also the beautiful right high kick. The right high kick is something he hides very well as he follows with a jab, right hand, left hook. High kick comes over the top, and he can put you to sleep.
No doubt about it. He will try to put on a striking clinic once again here tonight. And now our tale of the tape for this bantamweight fight. So these fighters relatively close in age, just a year apart, with similar height, but big differences in reach. Here once more, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 19 wins, 7 losses, and 2 no contests. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a kickboxer, holding a professional record of 19 wins, 6 losses. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Woburn, Massachusetts, Rob Font! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, our referee for this one.
Great.
All right, so lofty expectations for this matchup as round 1 gets underway. Seems to be a striking advantage on one side, but on the other, truly a fighter who can do it all.
And that guy will usually have the advantage on paper. When you're a striker, at this guy's level, that will normally balance out whatever advantage the other guy has.
All right, here we go, early round 1. We talk about wrestling being a great equalizer in MMA, but length and reach is another one. He's got a great jab. We'll see if he can employ it tonight.
You have got to be born with it, right? You don't get taller. When you're a tall guy, you have to understand, make your skill set match your physical abilities. And this guy has done this tremendously.
Unable to connect there.
I mean, he's cutting them down to size with these beautiful leg kicks. Ooh, big shot lands.
So 1 minute into this fight, and as many people expected, the action absolutely crazy, back and forth. This is a full-on brawl.
It's hard to watch a fight like this and call a fight like this because you never know when somebody's going to take that one shot that finishes the fight.
Oh, nice slip to avoid that right hand. Whiffs on the right hand.
Oh, big punch land. What a body kick.
Oh, high amplitude head kick. Oh! Oh, straight right. Oh, that's a beautiful kick right there. I don't know if you've ever been kicked by a mule. Probably feels something like that.
It has to. This guy is landing this kick with so much force.
Just a slip there. Trying to establish that jab once again.
Look at the force behind that leg kick.
Oh, wow! Head kick. Oh!
Big punch lands over the top. How's he gonna follow this one up?
Just misses there with the left.
Let him go. Time to let those hands go.
You gotta whip his hips into that kick. You gotta check these low leg kicks.
Oh, wow! Huge head kick. Lands it. Maybe time to get the bonus checks ready.
I mean, this fight is about done. He's got him hurt very bad with his head kick. Now he has to find one more strike to end the night. That's a big strike right there.
All right, so a nice job there defensively to raise the guard and prevent any damage.
Those hands never leave where they're supposed to be. And if you do that, most times you will block the shot that's incoming.
Another shot lands upstairs. Well, we told you off the top he had the reach advantage, and you saw it right there with that punch. Unable to connect with the right hand there. How good is that right hand? Just missing on the high kick there.
You don't know when that leg kick's coming. Big, powerful punch lands. Now he gets back to range.
Clean with the right hook. Nice 1-2 there. Oh!
Look at him whip his hip into that kick.
Mixes it up nicely in terms of staying heavy and also staying active. Oh, there he goes, attacking that lead leg to the outside. Nasty kick there.
Nasty leg kick. You gotta slow down your opponent. He knew his opponent wanted to move a lot tonight. This is the first step in getting him to slow down and fight at your pace.
Oh, just out of range with that punch. Strike lands there, and somehow his opponent's chin held up.
His opponent's chin held up, but you do not want to be on the receiving end of those types of strikes. Beautiful kick.
What a fight so far!
Acabou com a raça dele. As quedas foram lindas e ele tá chumbadaço. Agora você vai se preparar para tirar.
All right, so there's the end of the round. Few things in MMA more devastating than a head kick, and nearly produced a knockout for him there.
We talked to him earlier in the week, and he talked about chances to take the kicks high. He got a chance, he took it, he landed that kick and almost got the fight finished. Let's see if he can go and do that again.
You ready to fight? Ready.
Round 2 here. Wow.
Ooh, what a punch.
Lands a glancing right hand upstairs. So he's really starting to put together some significant body shots here. These are going to take their toll as this fight goes on. Just missed with the left there. Well, one got through. That kick was blocked.
Oh, big head kick lands.
Oh, huge kick.
Look at him chopping the wood. Chop the wood with those leg kicks.
Let's go. Set the pace. You set the pace.
Nice kick.
Well, he has landed some good shots, DC, but really unable to string anything together in terms of solid combinations.
It's because he's not committing to it fully. He throws his jab. He may float a right hand out there, but he's not really sitting down on the right hand. He really doesn't seem to have the intent on landing it. He's got to be confident that it's going to land, and he's got to really throw his whole entire body into the strike.
Well, we talked about that reach advantage as you see him land the straight punch there. Great job using his length in that situation.
Nice punch there.
Hard shots landing on both sides here. Throws a big right hand, but doesn't find its home. Offensive fight, nice job to block the shot there. 3 minutes.
Game of inches right there, boy. Wow. It was good night if that landed.
So a much different approach from him here in round 2. Took him a while to find the range, get in his striking rhythm. He has found it here, and as a result, has really picked up the pace in round 2. Continues to mix it up, going to the head, mixing in some body shots. Checks the leg kick.
Beautiful leg kick thrown.
Straight right hand now, just misses.
Let's go. I need you to be first now.
Oh, a little single collar tie there. And they separate. And he connects there with a punch, so pretty good striking display by him thus far.
He throws everything so straight and so accurate.
Well, he's been good tonight, but he missed with that one. Oh, that was a great lead left. His opponent was not ready for it.
His opponent thought jab. He landed that beautiful straight left hand.
Just misses with the right. Wow. Oh, massive head kick there. We'll see if he can finish. And a miss with the right hook. Head kick attempt, but the fighter got the right hand up.
Good punch land.
Let me see that hook now.
And just inches away from landing one of those big right hands. Oh, and he continues to pour it on. We mentioned earlier the aggression with his striking. Gotta be careful to not gas out here, but at least you have to admire the approach.
Ooh, what a punch.
Wild swing there. 20 seconds left. Oh, nice hook. That was a crippling shot right there.
Do it real tight, elbow tight, big check in it.
Oh, that's a huge connection there, DC. He is hurt.
Massive hook lands, and his opponent seems to be on his way out of the fight.
How about those 5 minutes? All right, that horn signifies the end of the round. Let's take us through some replays, champ.
And the replays are going to be kicks. That's the story of this fight to this point. He is landing these kicks at will, just driving his shin into his opponent's legs, and it's really starting to slow him down.
All right, here we go as our next round gets underway. His strong leg packs so much power that even when he doesn't throw it full throttle, you see he's able to inflict damage. We'll see if he can keep it going here in this round.
He doesn't throw it full power, but even when he feints it, he draws out reactions from his opponents because they don't want to get hit with any more of those kicks. It's a sight to behold.
Well, just as he did in the previous round, he continues to connect on a high volume of strikes. And a good sign, too, doesn't seem to be slowing down whatsoever. Blocks the strike. Just misses with a left hook there. Oh, nasty cut there, right on the bridge of the nose. Wow, what a head kick. Oh!
He needs to start looking to finish now because he's got his opponent hurt very bad. He loaded up there on that high kick.
Oh! Working out of that southpaw stance.
Look at how he turns his hip into that leg kick.
So there it is, longer reach paying dividends as he counters with a punch.
Dig and kick.
Starting to do some really significant damage to the body here. Another strike lands there. All right, so a good job by him here. He continues to block these shots. Seems to see them coming a mile away.
He sees him coming a mile away, and he's blocking, he's rolling, he's slipping. He's doing a great job. That was slipped in. Nice strike.
And he comes through with a big knee.
Left hand punch to the clinch. He's throwing every part of himself into these big leg kicks.
Oh! Huge right hand!
Dude's hurt. Serve him up. Go get him.
Oh, straight right. Oh, and he lands yet another strike to the body. Pinpoint placement right underneath the elbow.
Oh, nice. Nice. Look at him working at trying to shut the liver down.
Again, going back to the jab just out of range.
Great punch landing with so much power.
Oh, nice knee to the body, just what he needed there. Shot to end the fight right there. It couldn't have landed much more flush than it did, and I'm not even sure the opponent saw it coming, quite frankly. So, near perfect execution on the strike that ultimately results in the KO here tonight. All right, DC, no telestrator tonight, but we're going to get you some highlights from this one. This was a fight that had it all, and for my money, his best performance to date.
His best performance to date in the biggest moment. In the biggest moments, you got to show up, and that's exactly what he did tonight. He used every bit of his skill to get the job done.
Now we go inside the octagon. Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Deans called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 12 seconds of the third round. Declaring the winner by knockout, Ron.
All right, so there he is, the man of the hour. What a massive knockout for him to get this win in style tonight.
He did everything he needed to do to find the knockout. Now he can celebrate with his family and friends as they earn this spectacular victory.
All right, so here he is, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal turned pro in mixed martial arts back in 2003. More than 45 pro MMA fights to his credit. Seems to have finally found the division in which he belongs and trying to make a run here to welterweight title contention.
At welterweight, he has a speed advantage. He also can still defend takedowns very, very effectively. You want to fight? Get an octagon. Get a boxing ring. Let's go in someone's backyard.
Yeah.
It does not matter. Just tell Jorge Masvidal where it's at. He'll be there. This is a fighter's fighter, and he's always looking for a good scrap.
And that's why when Leon Edwards confronted him backstage, had to give him the 3-piece in the soda, right?
He got him with a biscuit. He got him with the biscuit.
Well, DC, this is a true mixed martial artist of the highest order. You've watched the film. Hard for me to see much in terms of glaring weaknesses, and he believes he can react to anything that is thrown his way inside that octagon.
It's unbelievable because whenever you're trying to prepare for someone, you look for weaknesses. But when you watch this guy, nothing jumps off the page. When you think I have to go wrestle him, you realize very quickly that not only can he defend takedowns, he can also go and secure them himself. He's that new breed of fighter that has been doing every discipline from the very start of his career. You know you're looking at a guy that will contend for a championship.
And if our fighter meeting on Thursday is any indication, confidence, not an issue for this young man coming in here tonight. Our tale of the tape for this highly anticipated welterweight fight. Masvidal is 1 year the elder. He will have a 3-inch reach advantage. To get us started with the official introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a boxer, holding a professional record of 35 wins, 16 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Miami, Florida, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 20 wins, 5 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida, Gilbert Durinho Burns. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, our referee for this one.
Ready. You ready to fight?
All right, so lofty expectations for this matchup as round 1 gets underway. Seems to be a striking advantage on one side, but on the other, truly a fighter who can do it.
And that guy will usually have the advantage on paper. When you're a striker at this guy's level, that will normally balance out whatever advantage the other guy has. Punch over the top.
All right, he'll engage in a single collar tie.
Look at him yank the head and land that beautiful punch from the clinch.
Well, for years, Tyron Woodley had said Jorge Masvidal is the best boxer on this UFC roster. Certainly showed you the hands there.
I mean, he's showing it, man.
Well, he told us on Thursday you don't get paid to fight 15 minutes. To that end, early takedown is there.
His ideal fight is a grind as ugly as he can make it. It's better for him. And with this early takedown, he ensures that he can start to wear the gas tank for a long time.
And he connects with a punch there. We'll see if there's more where that came from.
Boxing, boxing, boxing. It won't take many of those.
Oh, high-level stuff as he counters with that right hand. Oh, nice job to defend the takedown and scramble to his feet. Again, going back to the jab just out of range. Well, perhaps a sign of things to come as he lands a kick there.
Nice kick landed by this gentleman.
That's a big hook. All right, good job by him there to raise the guard and protect his head.
He's doing a good job of keeping the guard high, blocking his head, making sure he's not taking those damaging strikes up top. Big punch lands over the top. How's he gonna follow this one?
Oh, and he lands another counter strike here. He has landed several in this round. And if you are a counter-striking stylist, you can do worse than watching this guy compete. Beautiful job defensively, head movement, foot movement, and ultimately finding a home for these counter shots repeatedly in this round. So just over 20 total strikes have found the mark for Jorge Gamebred Masvidal.
Big powerful punch lands. Now he gets back to range.
And both guys really throwing with authority. All right, he engages in the single collar tie. And now he's got that tie finish.
When you're in the clinch, you can pull him down from the head and land these beautiful punches to the head.
And now his opponent in a world of trouble.
Such a sneaky head kick. He did not recognize it was coming high. And now he's got hurt bad.
Continues to mix it up, going to the head, mixing in some body shots. Masvidal's lower jaw now starting to show signs of swelling. Trying to set up that counterattack.
Beautiful strike.
Oh, a little single collar tie there. How good is that right hand?
Oh, what a fantastic strike to throw at the exact right moment. He deserves this moment. Go finish his fight.
Strong defense there to block the shot. Oh, big left hook there.
Take him down, cut him. Take him down, cut him. Over and over, he secured the takedown.
All right, trying to pass here. As Glover Teixeira might say, not today.
Not today. Great job of following with the hips, keeping those legs locked and keeping them in full guard. Yeah, he's in half guard here.
And he landed the right hand there. Oh, these are some serious punches from the top here. He's continuing to maintain good posture and making these strikes count.
He's doing a really good job of watching for the upkick, making his punches count while not putting himself in danger.
Oh, he postured up there, gained some valuable separation.
And now the ground and pound starts.
Well, he's got his back now. 15 seconds remain in the round. And now Masvidal's back in full mount. 5 minutes in the books. All right, let's take a look back at some of the replays from that last round.
Unbelievable to see these high-level competitors get in each other's face, tuck their chin, bite down on the mouth guard, and just let it all hang out over the course of 5 minutes.
Respira. Olha, o último round a gente perdeu. Você só perdeu porque ficou esperando ele. Não pode esperar, vai primeiro. Eu quero ver mais movimento.
Ready to fight? Ready.
All right, let's get to round 2.
Ooh, big shot lands. He's throwing every part of himself into these big leg kicks.
Connects with a right hand, pretty good punch that one.
Nice right punch by this young man.
So he's really starting to put together some significant body shots here. These are gonna take their toll as this fight goes on. And just misses with that big right hand.
He's digging his entire weight into those punches to the body.
Masvidal gets caught with that punch. He's treading water now. Gotta find a way to move those feet. Takedown here, he gets it. Posturing up now.
And now the damage is about to start.
Well, there are few things more fun to watch in mixed martial arts than these type of transitions and scrambles on the ground.
High-level grappling can really be entertaining.
And he's able to work his way back to his feet. Well, back in the day, he was brawling in backyards in the 305 alongside Kimbo Slice. Now he's one of the biggest superstars in the UFC and showing that he's still got plenty of work to do.
I mean, he's got plenty of work to do, and he has the...
See on that punch right there. His opponent's compromised his seat.
It's one thing to land a hard shot. It's another thing shot.
Fighter trying to pass here, ooh, but gets denied.
Gets denied. Great job, great recognition of seeing what your opponent was trying to do.
Might be a submission attempt here, champ.
I mean, you cannot sit in a full guard. When you sit in the full guard, you give these guys so many opportunities.
All right, well, both fighters pretty comfortable on the ground, DC, but you got to be very careful hanging out here for too long if you're his opponent. Well, he works hard to get up again here, but he looks hurt. All right, single collar tie now. Hard shots landing on both sides here. So a much different approach from him here in round two. Took him a while to find the range, get in his striking rhythm. Gets up the feet. His opponent in a lot of trouble now.
That was Cain Velasquez's punch of choice. Every time he landed that overhand right, he hurt people bad. And this guy has his opponent hurt very badly.
Man, it's almost like he's got a rangefinder out there. Just too easy as he connects with another good series of punches there.
If you're boxing this guy and only boxing him, you will be in trouble.
All right, so he lands another punch there, and he smells blood in the water, going right back at that cut.
Absolutely. The opponent has a lot of scar tissue around the eyes. He was able to cut it open, and now he's just touching it over and over again. You get up, you go down as another takedown attempt lands.
Masvidal's lower jaw is extremely swollen now. All right, he's sort of hanging out here unguarded, DC. Not sure if he's trying to bait him in or what, but not great body language here. Back to the feet now. Much improved defensively as he blocks the shot. Battle for position here. Got the single collar tie.
Straight punch lands.
Well, he continues to stay busy. What do they say, DC? Punches in bunches?
Punches in bunches. He's landing them upside his opponent's head over and over again. Look at the turnover in that kick.
How about that shin? Back and forth we go here! That shot blocked by Gamebridge. All right, he closes the distance, gets the single collar tie. Well, he has landed some good shots, DC, but really unable to string anything together in terms of solid combinations.
It's because he's not committing to it fully. He throws his jab, he may throw the right hand out there, but he's not really, it's the same story, just told on a different day. Takedown after takedown after
And now
takedown.
Masvidal's got his hand looking for a guillotine choke.
Watch guillotine.
He might get a finish here. Oh, what a beautiful counter to the guillotine there. Against side mount, and now maybe the Von Flue choke will be there. Oh, and there's the horn at the end of the round. How about this fight, folks? You see, he was nearly caught in a submission there right at the end of the round. Saved by the bell. So back to the stool. Mentally probably not in a great place here. We'll see if he can recover and get himself back into this fight.
Great, nice way to finish. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, he's still hurt.
You ready to fight?
Third and final round. Well, not only has he stayed aggressive as he was in the previous round, landing a high volume of strikes, but he's also been efficient, not just with his the inside. He's hit now.
He turned his entire body into that uppercut, and it landed exactly as he was hoping for. He ate that kick. He took that whole kick, yep. Good punch. Look at him drive his shins into his opponent's body with that body kick.
Oh, single collar tie. Oh, and he caught the kick.
chopping the week. Wow, actually got the takedown.
All right, working inside his opponent's guard here.
You cannot sit in these jiu-jitsu guys' guards. And you can't have one arm in, one arm out. Guys will start throwing up legs, chasing triangles.
Man, this is some serious ground and pound. He's trying to put this dude's head, like, through the canvas.
He's one of the better ground and pound fighters we have in the entire UFC, and you're seeing why.
Well, you got to stay busy on the bottom. He's doing it here. Nice punch. Oh, reversal here, DC.
What a way to switch the position. Fantastic movement by the bottom fighter.
I love watching this guy move on the ground. Another nice transition there.
Such a high-level grappler. You don't see that very often.
Bottom fighter trying to control posture, unable to do so.
And now he's in a lot of danger. He's got to grab that head or he's going to get blasted.
Oh, and he's able to land a strike there from the bottom. Nicely done by Burns. Masvidal's back in full mount. Well, anytime you are in a ground fighting situation with this fighter, you're potentially playing with fire. Under 3 minutes to decide this one. Oh, the ground and pound strikes continue to rain down. The opponent better move out of harm's way or the referee's going to stop this.
He better start to move, and when his opponent starts to posture, he needs to put his feet on the hip, push him away, and try to escape this very, very dangerous position.
Oh, huge strike lands there, and somehow his opponent's chin held up.
His opponent's chin held up, but you do not want to be on the receiving end of those types of strikes.
All right, he engages in a single collar tie here. Well, he is really starting to apply a lot of pressure here down the stretch. Not as much offense earlier in the fight. He is making up for lost time now.
Caught that kick there.
Well, DC, headgear's not allowed, but he has raised the hands, and he's doing a nice job protecting the dome.
He's doing a great job of blocking his head. A lot of times, those shots to the head will knock you out. Not this time. This guy's making sure nothing lands.
And they separate. Oh!
He's in trouble. He's hurt bad.
Oh, big left. Punches blocked. Oh!
Dude's hurt.
Whoa! It up nicely in terms of staying heavy and also staying active. All right, some really grueling work here in the clinch. Both fighters really struggling to gain a dominant position.
That happens.
Whoa!
Oh, he's hurt bad. He's hurt bad, John. He's got to press him. He's got to go chase that finish down now.
Oh! Oh!
He needs to start looking to finish now because he's got his opponent hurt very bad.
And they separate.
Big kick land.
Oh!
Now he's on top of him looking for the finish.
Well, he continues to manhandle him here on the ground. Back mount now. 15 seconds. Burns pass attempt denied. Official decision is in. It resides with Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. The judges score the contest 30-27, 9-28, 29-28, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal.
not get the finish that he certainly prioritized when we sat down with him in our fighter meeting, but a win is a win. He gets it done by unanimous decision.
And he said he wanted to finish, but sometimes your opponent's not willing to play the game. In those instances, all you can do is control what you can control, and that's fight to the best of your ability. He did exactly that tonight.
All right, so here he is, the inimitable last style bender, Israel Adesanya, still undefeated as a mixed martial artist. DC, you tried to bring him in to emulate John Jones back in the day, and he's such a meticulous, thoughtful guy that he said no because Luke Rockhold was in that gym and he thought he might have to fight him one day.
He knew that at some point he would reach Luke Rockhold in his division, so he said, you know what? I want to help you, DC, but I can't because of what's going to happen going forward in my career. He did not want to put Luke or himself in such an awkward situation. How about forward thinking? How about forward thinking that would have come to pass only a few short years later? But in Israel Adesanya, you also have the mentality, but the fighting ability to become a UFC champion in only 12, 13 months.
So here's the undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world making the walk, looking to defend his title. It is certainly something that he's been able to do in the past. He has been challenged on this title run. It's not as though he has run roughshod through this division, but they're all still chasing him at 185 pounds tonight. At least on paper, could be his most difficult challenge to date. Our tale of the tape for this middleweight championship fight. 4 years the difference in age between these two fighters, and they both possess the same height and a similar reach. All right, now for the particulars, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon, Herb Dean. Now, this is the moment UFC fans around the world have been waiting for. Live from the sold-out Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Middleweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 23 wins, 2 losses. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Introducing the challenger, Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya. And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a kickboxer, holding a professional record of 7 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 184 pounds. Fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, presenting the reigning, defending UFC undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Alex Poatan Pereira!
All right, this is for the championship. You've been given your instructions in the dressing room. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We will have a clean fight. Touch gloves. Let's make it fair.
Ready. You ready to fight?
All right, right, so here we go with the start of this fight. I'm anxious, man. What a matchup it is, and it's going to be interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see who has the upper hand early.
It's going to be difficult to find out how this plays out, right? Striker versus well-rounded fighter. Who's going to be the one that's going to control where this fight takes place?
Good takedown defense by Israel.
Big body kick lands.
Well, perhaps a sign of things to come as he lands a kick there.
Nice kick landed by the Jones.
Straight right hand, no good. All right, he engages in the single collar tie.
And this dude's cashing chips.
Oh, beautiful land there by Adesanya. You hear this crowd just eating out of his hand, oohing and on every time he advances.
I mean, he just captures your imagination from the walkout to the entrance when he's in the octagon, the fighting style. He just kind of has that thing that makes you want to stop and stare at Israel Adesanya.
Stuffs that takedown attempt without issue. And they separate.
Good stick. Liver kick. Oh! What a fantastic strike to throw at the exact right moment. He deserves this moment. Go finish this fight.
All right, single collar tie now. Stuffs the takedown there. How good is his takedown defense? Oh, collar tie. Oh, nice connection by him there with the right hand.
The right hand is the dominant hand, and you can see how well he throws it.
Very nice leg kick there by Adesanya. Oh, stuffs the takedown without issue. So just over 20 total strikes have landed for Israel Adesanya. All right, he engages in a single collar tie here, and they separate.
He's throwing every part of himself into these big leg kicks. Oh my God, he switched the lock to a high crotch, rotated him and took him for a ride. That was a big takedown.
All right, so you got to be careful playing on the ground with this guy. You don't want to mess around for too long. Working off of his back here. Looks like he may try to hip escape. All right, north-south position here. We'll see if the crowd can be mature about this, DC.
Oh, right in the mount.
I love watching this guy move on the ground. Another nice transition there.
Such a high-level grappler. You don't see that very often. Now he's throwing up a triangle attempt. He's going to try to move his left arm across to get pressure on the choke. Oh, nice. Now he falls back into the finishing position.
Side control now, and certainly I would think more offensive options for the bottom fighter than in the half guard.
Absolutely more offensive options, because now you can just start to get away. You can just go to a wrestler stand-up. Get to your knees, post your hands, don't allow him to get his hooks in, right? Really be aware of the hook. But get to your hands, stand up, fight the hands, break away and escape. But it's so much more free-flowing than a half guard in the side control, because all you need to do is just get the opponent's body up, because his legs are just free to move. His legs are not controlling anything. His legs are just free, so you have more freedom to use yours.
Well, anytime you are in a ground fighting situation with this fighter, you're potentially playing with fire. Lands a strike now from the bottom. Nice work there by Adesanya. Well, there are few things more fun to watch in mixed martial arts than these type of transitions and scrambles on the ground.
High-level grappling can really be entertaining.
All right, he's very comfortable fighting off his back, DC. Now looks like he's trying to hip escape.
Yeah, he's trying to hip escape, or maybe look for a Kimura here.
All right, 20 seconds to go in the round. Good movement by him here, transitioning very well on the ground tonight.
Step for step, he's staying with his opponent in every transition.
Oh, man, this ground and pound is good. Probably my favorite striking realm in MMA, and he's as good as it gets.
The problem is his opponent is not controlling his posture. He's allowing his opponent to get up, and when he does, he creates this space to land these beautiful ground and pound combinations.
Okay, you owning this guy. You can do anything you want, so he's turtling up. He's got the ability to make a choke defense, all right?
So the crowd voicing its appreciation after that round. We had a knockdown courtesy of a punch midway through. DC, here's your highlight.
It was straight. He threw him in combination and landed that big punch that really did hurt his opponent. Lesser men would have been done. He's got a tough guy in front of him. He will have to go back to this again. He will have to get back to this action if he wants to get the desired finish.
You ready to fight? Ready.
Second round underway.
That's a big strike right there.
That kick blocked by Adesanya. Single collar tie now. Was able to get that right hand over the top into the target. And a nice job at least staying upright on that.
Look at him whip his hip into that kick.
And both guys really throwing with authority.
Big punch land.
So he's really starting to put together some significant body shots here. These are going to take their toll as this fight goes on. Stuffs the takedown, no problem. And he landed the right hand there. Oh, right punch followed by a left there by Adesanya.
He's very tricky when he throws that body kick.
Well, the left hook has been there at times, not that time. Battle for position here.
Nice.
Oh, and he caught the kick. And the left kick there with conviction. Well, he has landed some good shots, DC, but really unable to string anything together in terms of solid combinations.
It's because he's not committing to it fully. He throws his jab. He may float a right hand out there, but he's not really sitting down on the right hand. He really doesn't seem to have the intent on landing it. He's got to be confident that it's going to land, and he's got to really throw his whole entire body into those strikes. Big punch lands over the top. How's he going to follow this one up?
Now, oh, and a quick entry.
Great single entry. Rotates to high crunch. He's taking it for a ride.
All right, well, both fighters pretty comfortable on the ground, DC, but you got to be very careful hanging out here for too long if you're his opponent. Oh, nice work from the bottom. Tags him with the punch. All right, he's trying to control posture here. Now trying to hip escape.
He's just trying to move out of this position off the bottom.
Strong bottom work here, staying busy. All right, so pretty good damage here with the ground and pound. Nothing superficial about these strikes. They are intent.
Now he's attacking the triangle.
Triangle looks pretty tight, DC. I'm no Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but maybe not good here.
No, it looks like it's getting in deep.
Oh!
And this might just be a matter of time. Let's take a look back at the replay as he gets it done by submission tonight, champ.
He does a great job of staying patient. He doesn't rush or panic. You are never safe when you're fighting this guy. You're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble the entire time when you're this good in the submissions.
Well, you're going to have to be pretty perfect to get this guy off the throne. There he is, the UFC's undisputed middleweight champion. Complete performance here tonight, and it ends with a win by way of submission.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean's called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 16 seconds of round number 2. For the winner by submission, and new UFC middleweight champion of the world, Israel Adesanya.
All right, so we got a new UFC middleweight champion, and this is a title that no one can ever take away from you. He's got a UFC belt at his home for the rest of his life.
For the rest of his life. And they say it takes a village to build a champion. And if you look behind him, celebrating with his coaches, you know that they have all been on this journey for a long time to the UFC championship. Congratulations to him and his team.